Howdy friends, it's Alicia from A Pickle Walk Sloth Knits. And today I would like to share with you my 2023 knitting goals, resolutions, plans. So I was participating in Vlogmas and I kind of petered out that last week there. My college student came home and my boys were finished with school. So I just kind of was enjoying the time. It's kind of a rush time that last week before Christmas. We had quite a few things going on and I just kind of let the vlogging kind of fall to the wayside. I do have some video snippets and some pictures. So I think what I might do with that is wrap up this last week of the year and maybe post kind of a closeout Vlogmas at the end of the month and just share the things that I've done since I last posted. Just to kind of put a little bow on the end of it. And then hopefully next year, I'll be a little bit more organized with that, having done it somewhat this year. So anyway, that's kind of a plan for that. But for today, I wanted to take some time and I've actually made some notes and written down my goals and made a few plans to try to meet those goals. And so I'd like to share them with you. So we will get started. And my first goal or resolution is pretty much what most knitters want to do or strive to do, is to work on knitting from my stash. I have a decent amount of stash. I've seen larger stashes, but I've seen smaller stashes as well. So I do want to try to knit from stash. I'm not going to say that I'm going on like a buying freeze. I just want to buy strategically. So there are several things that I want to take part in or participate in and enjoy this year. Last year, I really had a great time doing the North Texas yarn crawl. It was so much fun. I drove to places I'd never been in North Texas before. Put a ton of miles on the car and just had a really good time. And I want to do that again this year. So I will certainly buy yarn and other products on that. That normally happens, I believe, in the spring. And then this year, I missed DFW Fiber Fest. So I'm hoping that in 2023, I will be able to go to that. This year they had it in the fall. I think it was actually right around the time of Rhinebeck. So not sure why I didn't go. I didn't go this year. I was kind of planning to, and then it just fell through. So I am hoping to go to that as well. So I just want to make sure that I give myself room to buy at those events. And also if there's something that I need, you know, a certain quantity of yarn for that I don't have in stash, then certainly I will buy strategically for that particular project. So speaking of planned projects, I really have a goal of using the books that I have acquired over the years and the patterns that I've already purchased that I have yet to knit. I really enjoy scrolling through Instagram, watching YouTube videos, and seeing all the beautiful patterns. And then of course I get emails from people that I subscribe to their newsletters, and I see the beautiful patterns. And so I tend to buy the pattern and then it sits in my downloads forever. So I really want to strive this year to knit from my pattern books and the patterns that I've purchased. And again, I'm not going to go on a complete buying freeze when it comes to patterns. I mean, just yesterday I bought the Musselburgh hat pattern because I just think it's awesome and everyone's knitting it, and I was having a little bit of FOMO. So I bought the pattern and hopefully I will put it to good use this year, or this coming year, 2023. So it really doesn't count because I bought that in 2022. So it is now a already purchased pattern. So have some really beautiful books. In fact, I've purchased several of them more recently, and I just haven't used them yet because I've been participating in other things, knitting on other things. So I do want to make that a goal, and I have some patterns that I've picked out that I'm going to go over here in just a few minutes. But I want to get through my goals first. So that's goal number 2, is to use books and already purchased patterns. Goal number 3, I want to knit for others. I want to do more gift knitting. I feel like most of my knitting the past few years has just been, oh, that's a pretty pattern, I want to knit it, and I knit it for myself, which is fine. But I also feel like if I use my time a little bit more efficiently, I could get a lot of gift knitting done. I could do socks and hats and other things for others. I also have a brand new great niece who was just born recently, and so I want to maybe knit her a few things. So I just want to be more conscious of that. Additionally, I was gifted a Addie knitting machine for Christmas. And so I could do hats and maybe even do some hats for charity. We try to do Operation Christmas Child shoeboxes each year, and those might be a good thing to put in the shoeboxes. And I could just crank out a bunch of hats and donate those to that. So anyway, I want to knit for others. And yeah, I guess that's it. And I do have a few picked out already that I can do as gifts coming up soon. So that is goal number 3. I have several goals. So my next goal is to participate in make-alongs. This is something that I've enjoyed pretty regularly. I think this year, 2022, I think I participated in 3 to 4 knit-alongs. I know I did an Amba O'Brien one in the spring, and then I did the Stephen West shawl in October, and then of course I did my Advent knit-along, another Amba O'Brien, and then I did the socks, the Cozy Knitter socks, so that's sort of a knit-along. So anyway, I want to continue that. I enjoy knit-alongs. In fact, a lot of times when I do knit-alongs or crochet-alongs, that's what prompts me to actually finish a project. So it helps me to get finished with my projects when I'm doing a knit-along. So I definitely want to continue that. And so actually starting yesterday, the Bougie Sweatshirt knit-along by Young Folk Knits started, and so I have picked out a pattern that I may try, and it is in actually one of my knitting books, Metropolitan Knits, and it is I'm going to try to do this without giving away any pattern information, but it is the Cobblestone Hoodie. And so I just think that's really pretty looking. I haven't decided if I'm going to knit that for myself or maybe for my Cassie. Because I think she would like it too, because it's just kind of simple, and it's got a hood on it, and kids love hoodies. So anyway, I think I might attempt that for my first knit along. And again, that is Young Folk Knits, the Bougie Sweatshirt knit along. So, and along with that, I have some yarn from Stash that I've picked out. The pattern calls for sport weight. This is fingering, but I think I could hold it double, and I think I have enough in Stash to do that. And of these 3 colors, I am not 100% on any of this. This one is a chick that knits, and it is her deluxe sparkle, and it's called Hopelessly Devoted. and it is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina. And I have multiple skeins of this, so I could definitely hold that double. And then this is Chasky, and it is also fingering weight at 100 grams. It is a little bit different makeup, but I don't mind that when I'm knitting, as long as it, looks okay. I don't really mind if it's a different makeup. This is 60% superwash merino, 30% Pima cotton, 10% linen. So I think I only have one of this, but I think it's enough if I just use it for the stripes. And then this one is Round Table Yarns, and I believe that she's no longer in business. This was a yarn club from 2016, and it is 100% superwash merino, fingering weight. But again, I think one skein would be enough for the stripes. So I'm not 100% on the yarns or the colors, but it's just a thought, because I think I have enough of all of them in my stash to make it work. So I'm hoping to start on that soon. However, my very next goal is to finish works in progress. And I don't even know how many. Some of them may end up getting frogged. But I do have my my All Sorts cape, which is my Advent knit. And I'm making progress on that daily, but I'm behind, obviously, because it's over. But I do want to finish that, and I feel like I can finish that within the next week. And then I have a couple of socks that I am kind of in the middle of that I'd like to finish. Those are things I could work on in tandem with that. So I do want to start that soon, but it does run. It started yesterday, and it runs through the middle of March, I think. So it's plenty of time, especially if I'm going to make it for Cassie, because she's smaller than I am. So I don't think I'll have any problem finishing it, but I would need to get started relatively soon. And I do have some other things coming up that I'd like to finish before then, start and finish before then, along with my works in progress. So, so yeah, that was my next goal, was just finish my works in progress. And so I think with that, I want to try to kind of, for every new project I start, I also want to finish a work in progress before I, start another new project. So I have some smaller projects that I'm gonna be doing. So as I start one of them, then I need to make sure that, okay, also you're finishing, if it's a pair of socks, finish that pair of socks and finish that. And then before you start the next new project. So that was my goal next. I don't have these numbered. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That was goal 5, finish whips. The next few aren't knitting specific. They're knitting adjacent. So I would like to maybe have a few YouTube giveaways in the future if I meet some subscriber milestones. So I want to maybe pick out some of either some stash, or I have some smaller like accessory items that I might want to do a giveaway as I meet certain subscriber milestones, probably like the 500 subscriber point or whatever. I haven't really worked that out, but I think it would be fun. So I think that's something I'm just kind of in thinking about the whole of 2023. That might be fun to be able to have a couple of giveaways for my channel. Another thing I'd like to do during 2023 is sew a few project bags potentially, and just kind of see. I have done some sewing in the past. I do enjoy it. So I thought, well, that might be a fun thing. I have a bunch of fabric, but it's not like yards and yards and yards of the same. So it would need to be smaller projects. Well, project bags kind of fit the bill. So I, again, want to try to, I have a lot going on up here. A lot. Because I like to craft. I like to craft. And so I've collected a lot of fabric, odds and ends over the years. I have a ton of stickers and stuff and washi tape for planners. In the kind of same vein of knitting from stash, I want to try to maybe make some project bags from stash and have something that I can use either in a giveaway or as a gift or for myself or who knows. So I want to maybe sew up some project bags this year. I don't really have a plan in place right now, but I did just order my 2023 plum paper planner, and so that should be coming in probably in a couple weeks. Thankfully, my 2022 planner, I did get the month of January added on to the end of it, so I can still use that. So I'm hoping once that comes in, I added some things in there this year because you can customize it. So I added some different things in there this year that I haven't used before, kind of hoping to help with organizing and meeting my goals. So I'm excited to get that in a few weeks and hopefully start using that to organize some of my goals and my plans. And so my final goal is to start a knitting journal. I haven't ever used a paper like knitting journal, and I've kind of felt like recently like I want to keep better track because I knit stuff up and then I post it on Instagram and that's great, but it would be nice to have a place where I can go to all, because Instagram for me is just kind of a hodgepodge of my knit stuff, of, oh, I went shopping and got this yarn, or, oh, here's pictures of the kids. I mean, it's just life. So it would be good to have a place where, okay, here's all your project information. And then I could, use my washi tape and my planner stickers in that as well, because they are bountiful at this point. So I want to get that started. I've watched a few YouTube videos about knitting journals. And I think what I've decided, I kind of looked at maybe buying one. But then as I was watching I kind of decided, no, I think I can make one that works for me. And so I think that's what I'm gonna try. And if I get to a point where I'm like, okay, this is too involved, then maybe I'll just buy one that's already set up for me. But I think for now, I'm gonna try to do one myself, and we'll see how it goes. And I'm just gonna start with like my current projects. I'm not gonna try to go back and log projects that are already done. I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm just gonna start with my current projects and go from there. So those are my goals and resolutions. So my plans to help meet those, some of them I've talked about. I am gonna knit with stash and just buy strategically for specific projects. As far as my the books and the patterns I've already purchased, I have. I showed you the one for the bougie sweater knit along in the Metropolitan Knits book. I also have this 60 Quick Baby Knits book, and I mentioned that I have a great niece, Isabella, and so I was thinking I might make her this little basic raglan cardigan. Super cute, and I believe it calls for worsted weight, because I think most of these patterns are. So I have a bunch of I love this yarn, worsted weight from Hobby Lobby. I have several of this color, I believe, and I kind of like this color. I also have, I think, some green. I haven't really gone through it. I have downstairs stash too. My downstairs stash is like my big box store yarn, most of my acrylic. And I have pared that down some, but I still have a bunch down there. I tuck things away and they go in a closet, in a bag, or in a basket, and I forget they're there. So I'm gonna go through that. But I think for the little raglan sweater, I might use this. I'm sorry if you're gonna hear some noise. I think my kids are just getting home. They've been at the pool doing a lifeguarding certification class. My oldest has been helping to teach the class, and the two boys have been taking the class. So anyway, they're probably gonna be loud when they come in, and so I'll be shushing them. So that is one plan, to use a book that I already have and use stash yarn. And then I just purchased this book in the fall, Knitting the National Parks. It is beautiful. So I have picked out 3 hats in here to knit. One I have to have done by, here they come. So I have picked out 3 patterns from this book that I want to knit. And the first one I hope to have done by January 28th, because I want to knit it for my brother. And that is his birthday, and it's January, which is the perfect time to be making hand knit hats because it might actually be cold here in Texas in January. So the one I want to knit for him is the Shenandoah. It is really, really a pretty hat, and it has very colorful. It has oranges and reds and yellows, and I'm trying not to show any of the pattern. I don't think any of the pattern's on that page anyway. I have a ton of Patton's wool in stash that my friend Taya gave me, like a whole big bag of Patton's wool in stash. And so I'm gonna dig through that bag and look for colors that will coordinate with these hat patterns. So anyway, that one would be the first one that I would need to do for my brother. His birthday is at the end of January. The next one is for his wife, my sister-in-law, Amber. And it is the Great Smoky Mountains hat. And I want to do that because we did her bachelorette party last year in the Great Smoky Mountains. And so I thought that would be a fun hat to remind her of a fun time. And then the third one that I want to do in here is called the new River Gorge Hat. And I want to do that one for my cousin Stephanie, who her birthday is in October. So I have plenty of time to get to that one. Amber's birthday is in the middle of February. So those first 2 I need to get working on. But the new River Gorge one for my cousin Stephanie, she lives in West Virginia, which is where the new River Gorge is. So I want to do that one for her. But again, her birthday is in October. Got plenty of time. I can get that done, no problem. So those are some of my plans for using books that I already have and using some of my stash yarn. Actually, I think all of those I'm hoping to use stash yarn on. So that will be wonderful. Another thing that I want to work on in 2023 that will use up stash is some scrappy. I want to do Scrappy Sunday. I've seen several other podcasters who do Scrappy Sunday, and some of the things that they're working on I think are really beautiful. And I realized that I don't have any knitted blankets for myself. I have knit and crocheted baby blankets in the past, but I have never made a large blanket for myself. I take that back. I have done a couple of large blankets as gifts. But so I am working on the Coziest Memories blanket, and I'm using scraps. And so I'm hoping to kind of hold myself accountable to, on Sundays, working on that. And it's great because even just the scraps from my mini skeins that are, where I have even less than 10 grams left, I can get a square out of them. So, and then I actually am also doing as I knit the squares, once I'm done, I'm adding any leftover yarn to a magic yarn ball. So that was fun to learn and super easy. And so once that ball gets big enough, I might do maybe a crochet blanket as well. So I think that is it for now. I went over all of my goals and some of my plans to meet those goals. So I'm really excited. I was working on my planner today to try to get it set up a little bit, just to start off hopefully strong. I tend to do that and then things, go awry. So I'm hoping to keep a little better focus in 2023, especially when it comes to knitting and maybe using some of the beautiful yarn that I've purchased in the last several years. Instead of just letting it sit in my little cozy and look beautiful, I want to make it into things that are beautiful. So I hope that you'll join me on the journey, and I will be talking with you all soon. And thank you so much for watching. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and maybe a subscribe. And I'll see you later. Bye.